Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would seem as if, despite being a Democrat, Senator Chuck Schumer has decided that democracy isn't actually all that important to him. Now, remember how just 2 days ago the U.S. House of Representatives voted to push through an extension for the federal budget? Well, just yesterday, Senator Chuck Schumer made the proclamation that he won't be allowing that budget to work its way through the Senate. But folks, here's the thing. By doing so, Senator Chuck Schumer has walked directly into President Trump's trap. You see, Chuck Schumer would rather shut down the entire government than give President Trump a budget to work with, but little does he know, he's actually doing exactly what President Trump wants him to do. So later on in today's video, we're going to break down President Trump's entire genius plan that's unfolding right now. But first, I want you guys to take a listen to what Chuck Schumer has to say about all of this himself. Let it play.
Funding the government should be a bipartisan effort, but Republicans chose a partisan path, drafting their continuing resolution without any input from congressional Democrats. Because of that, Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture on the House CR. Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass.
So folks, here's the thing that Chuck Schumer doesn't want all of you guys to know. The continuing budget resolution that the House of Representatives passed just 2 days ago is actually identical to the budget resolution that was passed a year ago for Joe Biden, with bipartisan support from both a Republican House and a Democratic Senate. So what that means is that Chuck Schumer is refusing to give Trump the very same budget that he gave Joe Biden just 12 months ago. And now here's the deal, folks. If a budget isn't agreed upon by midnight on March 14th, this upcoming Friday, then we're going to have a government shutdown and over 800,000 federal employees will have their paychecks frozen. So that is the degree to which these crazy Democrats like Chuck Schumer are willing to go in order to shut down President Trump. Because if there's no federal budget, then President Trump can't really act on his America First agenda. Now, Chuck Schumer actually has a counter-proposal. What he wants is a short 1-month budget extension, which does nothing but give the Democrats more time to try to negotiate. So, in other words, despite this funding resolution being the exact same resolution that he himself voted for just a year ago for President Biden, Chuck Schumer now refuses to pass it now that Trump is back in office. Instead, he wants an extra month to try to negotiate, which, let's be honest, just means more time to sabotage Trump. Oh, and if he doesn't get exactly what he wants, he's willing to shut down the entire federal government, screwing over almost 1 million American workers. Now, folks, before we move on with the rest of the video, and there's a lot more to talk about, I want to say real quick that if you guys enjoyed the daily news coverage, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. But okay, here's something else I want you guys to take a look at. Just yesterday evening, everyone's favorite radical progressive Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez shared her thoughts about all of this. As she posted on X, "Republicans run the House, the Senate, and the White House. You run the government. If you have the votes, then go ahead. If you need Democrats, then you need to negotiate with Democrats. Those are your two options. Blaming someone else because your shoes are untied isn't one." So folks, once again, the Democrats are making themselves explicitly clear. If they don't get exactly what they want when they want it, they are willing to shut down the federal government and put almost 1 million Americans out of work. And folks, let's keep something in mind here. Right now, the Democrats have a national approval rating of 21%, the lowest of all time. Meanwhile, on the Republican side, President Trump has his highest approval ratings ever, 53%. On top of that, as you all know, Americans just recently voted to give the Republicans control of the House and the Senate, as well as giving Trump a landslide victory in the 2024 election. So what all of that means is that there is absolutely zero argument to be made that the Democrats are democratically representing the will of the people with this stunt that they're pulling. In reality, what they're actually doing is using what little power they have left to inflict as much damage to President Trump and America as possible, even if it means grinding this country into the dirt. And folks, as I'm sure you all know, by holding the government hostage like this, the Democrats are the pure, absolute definition of hypocrisy. In fact, speaking of hypocrisy, take a look at what none other than Chuck Schumer himself had to say just 12 months ago when the Democrats needed to have a budget get passed. This Senate has passed the bill to keep the government open, and now the bill heads to President Biden's desk. Even a partial shutdown by extreme House Republicans would have threatened services for moms and kids, hurt our veterans, hurt farmers, homebuyers, and so much more. Folks, Chuck Schumer himself said that just 12 months ago, but now that President Trump is back in office, he's calling for a government shutdown. Give me a freaking break. This is exactly why the Democrats have a national 21% approval rating. But now, folks, let's talk about President Trump's master plan. You see, right now, President Trump and the Republicans have two options here. President Trump can refuse to give in to Chuck Schumer's demands, let the government shut down, and just wait and see what happens, or he can agree to Chuck Schumer's demands, pass a 1-month budget extension, and then try to work things out with the Democrats in the meantime. And so, folks, here's my opinion. All of this entirely depends on the public's perception. If President Trump stands firm and refuses to cave in to Chuck Schumer's crazy demands and the government does shut down, who do Americans blame for it? Do Americans blame President Trump for not striking a deal with the crazy Democrats? Or do Americans blame the Democrats for refusing to work with President Trump and the mandate that we all gave him? That, folks, is the billion-dollar question. But like I said, this is all part of Trump's master plan. You see, if Chuck Schumer caves to President Trump and Trump does get his budget, the Senate passes it through, then Trump can continue on making America great again. However, if Chuck Schumer refuses to work with Trump, Trump doesn't get his budget, and the government does shut down, you know what's going to happen? The entire country is going to blame the Democrats. And folks, I'll tell you what, if you thought the Democratic national approval rating was low right now, just wait and see what happens if the Democrats shut down the government. The Democratic Party will be done for. And so, folks, this is the way that I see it. This entire situation is a win-win for President Trump. Pretty much, he can't lose. And you know what they say, folks, that is the art of the deal. But now, I want to hear what all of you guys have to say about this, so make sure to let me know in the comments section down below. But also, I want to quickly mention that I've recently made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates relating to all of this stuff. So if you guys use Facebook, check out the pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But folks, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please like the video if you liked it. Like I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.